Hello delightful movie fans. Let's recap Black Bag movie together. Get ready to step into a world of shadowy espionage, packed with twists and turns, and thrilling surprises. Whether you are a spy thriller junkie or just curious about the buzz, this video is your ticket to dive in. So buckle up and let's unravel the secrets and the drama of the movie Black Bag in style. On Friday night, the curtain rises on George, a seasoned operative, slipping into a pulsing nightclub to meet Mr. Mitchum, his colleague at the covert agency Black Bag, who took him outside. Mitchum hands him a bombshell, a list of suspected traitors within the ranks, with George's own wife Kathryn glaringly among them. Their fear, one of these turncoats could sell Severus, a clandestine project. With the clock ticking, they set a razor of 1 week deadline to unmask. On Sunday, George turns his home into a stage for a high-stakes dinner, inviting the 4 suspects in addition to his wife Kathryn, the data scrubber Clarissa, agents Freddie and James, and the agency shrink Dr. Zoe Vaughn. He tips off Kathryn, slyly hinting at a traitor in their midst, without letting on she is suspect number 5. His secret weapon, a dash of truth serum, DZM5.
One of them is a liar. I want to know which.
Before dinner, the 4 guests rendezvous at a bar, plotting their moves. At George's table, small talk about intel operations and civilian casualties, which Dr. Zoe showed resentment. All for the greater good. They shrugged. Gives way to chaos once the serum kicks in. Freddie blurts out how George once tailed his own father, a former Black Bag agent, ruining his career and marriage. George's icy retort,
I don't like liars.
To crank up the tension, George proposes a game. Each one crafts a resolution for the person beside them. It's a psychological grenade. George calls out Zoe's taste for erotic fiction. Embarrassingly, Zoe asks James to finish second in bed. James digs at Clarissa's fling with Freddie, and Clarissa begs Freddie to stop cheating. Freddie snaps, branding Clarissa insane and psychotic, but George lands the knockout blow to Freddie, naming the hotel where Freddie's affair unfolds.
The Zeta Hotel in Clerkenwell.
George also specifies the days, reminding him that he doesn't like liars. Clarissa, unfazed, stabs Freddie's hand with a steak knife and sips her wine like it is just another Sunday. Later, George spots cinema ticket in trash by Kathryn's dressing table. Planting seeds of doubt, he offers her an out if she is in trouble, but she deflects. Meanwhile, Mitchum collapses at home, poisoned. As George and Kathryn prep for work on Monday morning, he suggests catching dark windows later that week, the same flick from the ticket. She plays dumb, fueling his suspicions. In a slick move, he swaps their work key badges at Black Bag. News of Mitchum's death rippled through. George uses Kathryn's badge to sneak into her office, uncovering her upcoming Zurich trip. Post-work, George fishes at the lake, mulling the clues, when James interrupts with a bombshell. A fake ID once used by Kathryn recently opened an offshore account. £7 million flowed from Myanmar to Zurich, hinting a massive betrayal. George asked James for secrecy. On Tuesday night, George takes Kathryn to dark windows, watching her like a hawk, for signs she has seen it, but to no avail. After dinner on Wednesday, Kathryn heads to the airport. George's nice trip drips with subtext he knows about Zurich.
Bon voyage. Or gute Reise.
Later, he barges into Clarissa's home, propping her rocky romance with Freddie. She answered, the stabbing and cheating made them even. George pivots blackmailing her with dirt on her wild side, ecstasy, and multiple lovers, to help him surveil Kathryn at Zurich without the agent's knowledge. Fuming, she subjects to his request, meeting him at 6:30 a.m. Before he leaves, she clarifies that she would have done it for him anyway. On Thursday morning, George and Clarissa hijack a satellite to spy on his wife Kathryn in Zurich. She is spotted on a bench with a bearded man. Using facial recognition, tags him as Andrei Kolikov, a Russian lieutenant colonel. Clarissa's AI lip-reading trick reveals Kathryn is buying, not selling intel. They shut it down to avoid detection, wiping the traces. That day, James and Zoe's breakup turns ugly in her office. Then James joins a tense meeting with boss Stiglitz and George and Freddy and others. Topic: Pavlychuk. A dissident Russian general escaped house arrest during the satellite handover exactly when George and Clarissa were snooping. Suspicions swear Pavlychuk is somewhere waiting for his right hand Kolikov to pick him up, and someone inside Black Bag tipped him off. George suggested to call the CIA for help, but Stiglitz nixes CIA involvement and reassigns the satellite overseer somewhere away. In private, Severus' true nature emerges, a Stuxnet polymorph virus that could trigger a nuclear meltdown if plugged into a reactor. Pavlychuk has a copy aiming to topple Moscow's regime. Clarissa later confesses her satellite stunt with George to Freddy. That night, Kathryn returns from Zurich to find Freddy at her door, warning her George is onto her, and Pavlychuk's escape ties back to his hack. In bed, George and Kathryn trade theories. They are both being framed in a tangled web of plans. Their move to disrupt these plans and bait someone into a fatal slip. Next day, George and Kathryn split up to unravel the conspiracy. At the lake, George tells jittery James he is polygraphing Zoe, Clarissa, Freddy, and himself. James admits the fake ID tied to the offshore account was used by many, not just Kathryn. George smells a rat. Meanwhile, Kathryn tasks Clarissa with tracking Kolikov's phone, then hands the trace lock in to a shadowy stranger who turns out to be a CIA agent, urging swift action to stop Severus. She abruptly interrupts Stiglitz at an illegal restaurant serving ikizukuri, which is live sashimi, accusing him of smuggling Severus via Pavlychuk to destabilize Russia. Meanwhile, a CIA drone is missing Pavlychuk's car. Stiglitz got extremely furious as she told him, but she warns him, "You are now in George's teeth, forced to shred yourself to escape." Eventually threatened him that this ends with someone in the boot of a car. Back at the agency, George polygraphs the phone. Clarissa brags she can beat the test. Freddy sweats over his fling with Zoe. Zoe admits to 2 lovers in 3 months. James stays eerily calm. Finally, George ended the test with inviting each one to dinner at his house the very next day at 8 p.m. Saturday, 8 p.m., George and Kathryn host a second dinner. No food, just a gun on the table. Kathryn lays out the rules of the new game. George asks each one a question. The loser doesn't get up from the table. Zoe, standing up, tries to leave, but Kathryn forces her back.
That's a new rug.
Sitting down, she nervously wondered why there is a new rug. A top secret file lands beside the gun. Answer: Professor Ozrak Committee. Clarissa erupts, calling them all disturbed. Zoe claims innocence. George starts with Zoe, exposing her affair with Freddy at the Zeta Hotel. Freddy admits tipping Zoe off about the satellite shift, conspiring with her to manipulate Kathryn, known to shield George. George praises Clarissa's polygraph deceiving skills, then zeroes in on James, accusing him of planting the ticket to frame Kathryn. But was it his idea? But George presses. James stole Severus to destabilize Moscow, got drunk and spilled it to Zoe. Her faith couldn't stomach a meltdown, so she and Freddy manipulated Kathryn into killing Pavlichuk, saving George. Kathryn reveals she knew about their plan, but went along with it, halting Severus. Freddy snaps that George and Kathryn only care about each other. Kathryn admits she played Freddy and Zoe's game to save lives, but warns them never to threaten her marriage again. George drops CCTV proof. James opens the offshore account. James grabs the gun, rants about Severus' noble purpose, and admits killing Mitchell. He fires at George, but fake bullets. Kathryn shoots James in his face. George and Freddy roll James' body in the new rug. Then it lays down in a lake. Early on Monday at work, Stiglitz frets over James' vanishing act. Kathryn coolly suggests he retires, as they are on a dangerous line of work. Later at night, she and George dissect Stiglitz's CIA relation and his future. She asks George why he never confronted her about the ticket. He grins, "You are too sharp to be that careless." Then she reminds him of the £7 million still lounging in Zurich. They both chuckle over it.